Yes, welcome to the What Are We Doing Here podcast. And it's a bit weird. I'm doing it on my own this time because Savva is on holiday. He's in Turkey. If he's in the chat, big up Savva. He's in the chat. If he is, if he's not, if he's having dinner, turn your phone off, mate, and enjoy it. We've got a lot to talk about. It's deadline day, guys. It's deadline day. This should be exciting. There should be transfers being done. We think we might have already got one done, though. It looks like it's happening. It hasn't been formally announced by the club, but we believe Randall Kolomawani is in the door. He's had his medical. First of all, guys, before we do anything, I'll read some of your comments out. We'll have a little chinwag. Thoughts? Kolomawani, good deal. And make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. I think Savva's almost like about 200 away from 23k or whatever it is. He's getting there, 24k, whatever he's doing. He's hitting it close to a milestone. So make sure you hit the like button. There's only 44 likes, come on 100 immediately. That's the job to get done now. What are your thoughts? Big up to everyone. Let's see who's in the house. Big up Daryl Denton for Spurs window. I'll give it a 6 for top clubs. It'd be a 5. Just being honest. Look, I think it's a 7. I think you've got to be fair with it. I think we've signed 4 players that get straight into our first team. Kolomawani, Kudus, Simmons for me elevates it. I think that's an amazing bit of business. And Jabalinia, I think they're brilliant bits. Our problem is can't offload. Can't offload, can we, man? Big up Tony. Savva's not here. He's on holiday. It's me. You've got to deal with me, unfortunately. You've got to deal with me. I do apologise. I hope not. Big up Mark. Yeah, he's all right. He's enjoying him. Let him enjoy himself. Yes, I am doing the show. Big up to you, my friend. Big up Ben. 2 permanent signings, 1 loan with an option, 1 straight loan. We only spent 110 mil. It's crazy when you talk about that. We only spent 110 mil. Why didn't we splash money on Savio? Look, I think the Savio one, I will give the benefit of the doubt on. Man City said they don't want to sell him. The player wanted to come. I think Spurs were willing to pay levels of money. The problem is you've always got to remember there's got to be a cut-off. You've got to go. We can't go any higher than X amount. I'd love to know what those final numbers were. That would be really interesting. Big up to Mark. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good evening to you. Ball and Buzz. I'd love the name. Big up. Hey, we've signed some quality signings, but not enough. Whelmed, not overwhelmed. No, I think the left wing's the key one, and we will get into the left wing. And I want to get your thoughts on that. Or centre back. 2 things we told we wanted. I can't disagree. Can't disagree at all. Big up Ben. No, not getting a left wing. I'm livid. Yeah, look, I'm not happy. Not getting a left wing was a bit of a problem for me. I think the centre half, I'm not too. We'll delve into it. We'll delve into it. Savva is in Turkey. He is in Turkey right now. I did see one that I wanted to say. A clock with Cherry. We like the Bournemouth fans. We've signed Jimenez, by the way. Good little signing. I'm telling you now, he's a good bit of business. That is Alex Jimenez. This, by the way, this is one of those signings that when I hear about getting rid of players, and we're going to delve into, because I really want to have a bit of a rant about I really want to rant about us offloading because it's a real problem. Newcastle getting £30 million for a player they paid £10 million 12 months ago. And he played 17 games at Newcastle. Mate, exactly. Is Lookman still available? I doubt it with about 45 minutes to go. If Ademola Lookman out of nowhere is signed for Tottenham, I'll be amazed. For me, I think we left it too late with Lookman. For me, it was one of those you get done last week, right? This is where I said the week ago about Savio was the cut-off. Where's the cut-off where you go, look, we can't go any further. We've got to look at other options. And for me, we missed that cut-off because what it done is, and then Atalanta then have to go, we've got to sign someone. So they're not going to let rid of a player of Lookman's quality if they can't buy. Really not good in that sense. Should we be trying to get Semenyo? For me, Semenyo, not for me. Not for me. No, I'll get that wrong because we're misconstrued. I think Semenyo, quality-wise, yes. just signed a new contract. How much money would Semenyo cost? And to get him with 45 minutes isn't going to happen, right? Isn't going to happen. I'm just having a look if anything updates on me, by the way. So if I do stop and look at it, nothing there. Mark Guehi, by the way, is a real interesting one. Mark Guehi deal might not happen, might happen after Palace's drama. Palace just had a Willian done to him by another Brazilian eagle. Yeah. Hey, what can you do? It's me today. And obviously, don't forget, if you're about the whole OK jerseys, scan the QR code, get 8% off. Code Savva. Might as well. Oh, I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I just did. Let's have a look. Because I want to talk about left wing. And I'm seeing it all. I'm hearing it all about the left wing side, right, for me, which worries me massively worries me on this left-hand side. Because we've known for 3 months that Heung-min Son was leaving this football club. 3 months we knew he was going, right? 3 months. And we've not managed to find a target on that left-hand side all window. Now, look, I'm not sitting here saying it's a disaster that we've not... it's an absolute disaster. I've not said that. I've not sat there and gone, it's an absolute catastrophe. Because it isn't for me. I don't think it's a catastrophe. I think... But the problem is for me, the key bit, the problem for me is we've had all window to deal with it. All window to get that left. The short-term ones, I'm going, I get it. You get an injury to Maddison, you've got to replace, you've got to react. Solanke getting injured, you've got to react. Now, the someone we didn't need to react. We knew someone was going, and we've been trying all window to get in a left winger. I'm hearing Lookman to Tottenham is on. Is it? Is Lookman to Tottenham on? Oh, my resident referee's in the house. Big up, Chris. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I tried to get formulate some a deadline day signing on, and I've had to get Chris on loan on the What Are We Doing Here podcast after Savva was out down injured in Turkey. Look, mate, we're just sort of talking about the window and stuff and trying to get a more holistic view on it, because I think everyone just goes disaster because we've not signed a left wing. I don't think it's been a disaster of a window. I think we've signed some really, really good players. But I will also concede to the fact that we have had 3 months to sign a left winger, and we've got to 43 minutes to the window closes, and from all accounts, we're not getting a left winger. So, look, welcome to the show, mate. Look, I'm going to throw you into the deep end with that first question was, what do you think? Because I think for me, that's the key bit, right?
Yeah, look, I'm more positive about the window overall.
Agreed.
Mainly because I never thought, well, we're Tottenham Hotspur, so I never thought for 1 second we'd have a window where we would address all of the gaps in the team. That's not really what we do, is it? So
yeah.
And also, just bear in mind, I don't think you can go from where we were to competing, say, top 4 in one window. I just don't think it was ever going to be possible. I totally take the point that there are still gaps, and I just think the level of quality we have at left wing is so poor that it stands out like a sore thumb. And then you add in that even if you go from when Son made his announcement, look, I don't think he rocked up that morning and said to Ange, by the way, I'm leaving. That would have been known a while before.
Let's be fair. From all the reports were saying back at the end of the season that Son was considering leaving, right? And then it went really quiet. And then we heard the fact about Son needs to play in the preseason. For me, I try and read between the lines on that and go, Son was already decided to go. He only stayed because of the preseason thing, right? Yep. And it all kind of materialized that as soon as the preseason came, he said, this will be my last game. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
look, I
agree.
think
But then at the same
that's
time,
the only bit that I'm annoyed about, that we've not got in a left winger.
yeah, look, I take that. But the truth is, we never know, do we, as fans, exactly what goes on. So you can play this out in a couple of ways. You can play the why don't we go and get Lookman card? Well, there's a couple of reasons why we might not have done that. One might just be that Frank doesn't fancy him. The other one might be, and it's just hypothetical, but it looks like we really wanted Savio, right? That seems to have been our number one target. Now, I'm just throwing out a scenario that may or may not be true. If, like, I know Cherky's got injured and whatever, so if in those discussions City said, look, we're keeping hold of him, but there's a chance that come January, maybe City have got their own signings. Maybe they've got somebody they want to bring in the next window long term for similar positions. So if there is the prospect of us potentially getting our number one target come January or even next summer, you're then left with a position of, do you want to go and get a Lookman because apparently he's not available on loan without an obligation? So do you want to go and bring someone in for 30, 40 million who you don't really want there long term just for a season? So I could sort of understand, if that was a scenario, I could understand why we wouldn't go for Lookman. You'd still hope there might be someone there on loan. I worry a little bit that Tell is maybe seen as playing there. And I worry a little bit that Mawani might end up being shunted out to the left wing, or we just shuffle them around. Maybe we
Charlison, maybe. This is the problem, right? We're now in that conversation where we're going, well, who are we going to put there? Is it going to be I think it will be Brennan Johnson. I think Brennan Johnson will naturally play there all season now. And if he's not playing, it will be Tell or maybe a Richarlison. Or, do you know what I mean? I think we're going to play like that maybe, but
we could shuffle them around, right? So you could end up, I'm not saying this is ideal because I'm usually a fan of playing as many people as you can in their best positions. And the more you tweak things, I think I'd rather have one weak position than making two or three. But you could end up putting Simmons out on the left, move Kudus to the middle, play Mawani out on the right. I think Mawani's better on the right than he is on the left. He's better in the middle, right? Let's be honest.
Do you want to hear another, just before you carry on, do you want to hear another crazy one? Sunderland have just signed another player from Ajax. Bertrand Traore has agreed a deal to go to Sunderland for £2.5 million. I mean, Sunderland have just bought about 25 players this window.
Wasn't it Chelsea?
Yes, ex-Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. Sunderland and Forest and Chelsea, just like the amount of players they've signed is just unbelievable.
I mean, what? Look, I think. Look, we can delve in. I think the centre back one. Everyone sort of says about a centre back one. I'm not as annoyed about the centre back one. I think. Look, from what all the talk is that Dragusin is back training on himself. So in theory, maybe after the international break, he might be back. Maybe in a week or two after that. So for me, I wouldn't go out there and get a centre half for the sake of getting one. I think he'll come back in and he'll slot in and be that number 4 centre half after the two. So I'm not massively, but as I said, I went back to the left wing and thinking that's the one I would be like, oh yeah, I'm a bit concerned at that.
Defensively, Matt, I think we're fine, really. First of all, I'm a big believer that Vuckovic's loan was the right thing to do for me because
have you heard what he's just said?
No.
Oh, I've just read a thing. I'll read out what he's just said. What Vuskovic has just said. He's commented on him going on loan. They offered me an option to stay to play in case of injuries or cup matches, but I wanted to get continuous minutes.
100%.
They have Romero and Van der Ven playing. They're two of the 3 best centre backs in the world at the moment. I believe in myself, but it's really difficult to play next to them. I've faced them and I realise I've still a lot of hard work. I have to work a lot harder. A lot of work and a little bit of luck and I'll be back. Yeah. So everyone that was telling me, just keep him for this, that and the other. The player is sitting there going, I need to play football. And I'm not against him going out on loan.
course
He's
he does.
going
He's
on loan
18.
to where his brother plays as well.
Well, the best thing for his development at 18 is just to play games, right? So if he stayed with us, what's he going to do? He's going to play maybe in the League Cup. And what happens, by the way, if he does play in the League Cup and then we go out to, let's say we went out to Doncaster, people are going mental saying, well, why have you played Vuskovic for? So I just think it's a terrible idea. And also, by the way, if you choose him as your first choice centre-back, reserve centre-back, what does that do for Danso? And so right now, I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. And if we were going to bring another one in, that's problematic. Like an Akanji, I'd have been all favour of it because the more quality you have, the better. But I can see why Akanji wouldn't want to join. Like, how many centre backs do we want at the end of it? We've got a lot. And the flexibility is there for me. I'm not worried.
I think centre. I'm not. Another one, I would have sat in and got another one in, and I'd have been like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll be happy with that. But for me, I don't think if a left winger was more important. Martin, just to correct you on this, no, there has to be a deal sheet put in place. So a deal has to be agreed in principle by 7 p.m. And then I think they get 2 or 3 hours to then completely finalize the deal. So they have to have a deal sheet. So agreed terms that Team A will pay £10 million for a player for Team B, basically. So no, terms can't be the only thing agreed. They have to have a deal sheet submitted by 7 p.m.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing anything now. Very little suddenly appears with 30
the fact
minutes.
that nothing's come up now. The fact that nothing comes up now tells me I don't think anything will happen. Fulham have completed the signing of Kevin. They're closing in, it says here. And they're going to pay £35 million for Kevin, by the way.
I don't know anything about him.
He's a young Brazilian lad who plays at Shakhtar Donetsk.
They love their Brazilians, don't they?
They do. What I've done here, Chris, whilst we're doing it, big up to everyone. Make sure you are smashing the like button whilst we're here. Savva told me I had to say it. Smash the like button. Let me hide this comment. What I've done, I've created. I've done 2 teams. So I've done Team A, Team B. And that's kind of how I would see it. And let me know what you guys think. You guys in the chat as well, get involved. Share my screen. We will share this one. So this, if I share my screen, if you can see that. Yeah, is all good. Yeah, so this is what I think the team. This is the second team I would suggest, right? Is that the right one that's sharing?
Yeah.
So,
unless you're playing Gray and Davis in your first choice team, then yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, no, I couldn't remember which one I picked. So I've worked this out. I put Jed Spence on the right hand side here. I know I would naturally play him on the left more, but this is basically if this is going to be our sort of what I would call second string this season, and then if I swap it with the other one, if I go stop sharing that one and then go, it's been a while since I've streamed.
That team to me looks like a team that would be fighting relegation.
I can't remember which one it is. If I minimize that one, I think it's this one. Hang on. Why should we just share the same one? There we go. Yeah. So this one now is the one which I put in with the players that we've now signed now. So Kolo Muani I put up top. You've got Jed Spence at left back, Romero van der Ven at back, Porro, Paulinho, Bentancur, Kudo, Simmons, Johnson. That for me will be our strongest team this season.
Question, Perchy. What if this Solanke injury isn't as bad and he's fit? Let's say he's fit for West Ham in the next game. How would you adjust this team then?
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is that I would then probably put Muani out here, and then probably put Solanke. But then again, I sit and think, would you do that, or would you just go back to this? Because Johnson for me scores, whether or not I think he's good enough. He scores goals, right? So I'm not sure, guys. In the chat, big up everyone in the chat, guys. If for example, we're saying Solanke is fit Does Solanke start or Brennan Johnson? Just put in the chat Solanke or Johnson. In the theory that we put Mawani on the left and then Solanke up front, or do you go Mawani up front, Johnson on the left? Is that the way I said it? Yeah. So Mawani on the left and then Solanke up top. Who would you rather have? That's the question for me. Is it Solanke or is it?
I think the one where you got Solanke in, I actually quite like, because Mawani, Simmons, and Kudus are quite interchangeable between the three of them. Then
obviously, guys, you can also say Richarlison, right? Richarlison could, in theory, play as your 9 as well. I forgot about that one as well. You could also go. You could go like this, or you could go like this, basically, couldn't you? So obviously, there's a little bit of that conversation. Someone saying I wouldn't, for me personally, guys, I wouldn't put Brennan Johnson up top. I don't think he's anywhere near as a striker for me.
No, but you know what? With Johnson, bizarrely, I think there's a strong argument to play him when. I almost hesitate to say this because on paper it sounds stupid. There's a strong argument to play him when we're playing the stronger teams and we're hitting on the counter.
Yeah, good shout. Good point. I like that. That's a good shout.
Against the Bournemouth at home, I just don't think he offers you anything at all.
Yeah, mate, I agree. Do you know what? I think it's a good point. I think the problem we have is when we're playing against teams that are better than us, what we're good at is that counter attack. We cause it, but when we're playing against teams that will give us the football, we almost don't have that player. And that's why, by the way, I'm excited about Xavi Simons for me. Xavi Simons coming in is the player that I go, you're going to start picking locks for us. You're going to start unpicking locks for us, and we're going to get through. Brian Broby, just on transfer news, has completed his medical to go to Sunderland from Ajax. He's the one that he's the player for me that, if you remember, Romano just has been trying to sell this guy for about 2 years to every name. He tried to sell him to Man United, he tried to sell him to Tottenham, tried to sell him to Arsenal, but he's finally got that move, so he can't live off the Romano transfer again. Big question here. Off Spurs. We'll go off Spurs for a little bit. We'll come back. We'll come back to Tottenham for a second. What's your thoughts on the Palace, Guehi, Liverpool stuff? Because at the moment, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Because Crystal Palace got Willian by West Ham with Igor.
Oh, is that where he's gone? I saw that it kind of fallen through with Palace.
He was at Crystal Palace, had his medical, about to agree the deal, and his agent pushed him into a car and said, "We're off to West Ham, mate."
I mean, West Ham must have blown them at the market with money, right? Because why would you choose?
It's only supposedly a loan deal.
I suppose they can always sweeten it. They can always.
Oh,
you don't just have to pay what his contract is. I guess you could pay him more, right?
Sweeten it. But obviously, Mark Guehi's already in Liverpool, commencing his medical.
He's doing a Peter Odemwingie. Do you remember Peter Odemwingie?
No, because the problem is Crystal Palace authorised him to go. It's not like the because Crystal Palace said, "Well, we're bringing Igor in. We'll authorise the deal for Guehi." He's turned up there. Igor's pissed off out of Palace, and they've gone, "Crap, we need a centre half now, like with an hour to go." Like, so, and now there's talks that the Guehi deal hangs in the balance. This is an absolute, for Crystal Palace, is a shit show, right? It is an absolute shit show because now they lose. It's a lose-lose for them, right? Because if they bring Mark Guehi back, short-term, great, but then he's going to go to a Liverpool on a free transfer next season.
Yeah.
So they lose out the 35 million quid there. So
I mean, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on.
I think it will happen. Surely it will happen, right?
Well, the one thing I like about the way Guehi's handled it all is he's been super professional, and I think he's. I read somewhere that he's not actually. Of course, he'd rather move, right? Of course he would, but I read that he wasn't really that fussed if he had to stay for another season, and then he'll go on a free, won't he? So.
Let's be nice to Palace because they're taking Manor Solomon on loan. Is that happening yet? I
read that was had difficulties as well. But
Manor Solomon's the one which I keep hearing loads of people saying Crystal Palace, but no one reputable has actually said it's happening yet. So I don't know if that's actually happening. So he's doing his medical in London. Joe Gomez could go to Palace on loan. I thought they're keeping Joe Gomez because wasn't Joe Gomez linked to go to Bayern Munich today, and they pulled the plug because of Konate? It's crazy because you think about it now. All these players and all these teams have had all window, and all of a sudden everything's happening now. Like, I know everyone says about Spurs doing it, but everyone else is doing it last minute as well.
Yeah, I think it's been a fascinating window, and
I do agree.
It's been a throwback, isn't it? Because to be honest, the last, especially deadline days, the last few have been really boring. Like, not a lot's happened, but this whole window has been a bit mental, really. So much has gone on. Also, I don't understand, but I don't know what your view is. Some of the fees that are baffling me in both ends. Like,
I know what you're going to say. I was about to bring it up, but go for it. I think I know what you're going to say.
The one that baffles me personally the most in terms of costing a lot of money is Nick Voltemade going to Newcastle. I cannot get my head around how much they're
paying. I thought you were going to say
Nicholas
Jackson today.
I haven't even seen that. I mean, they're paying 15 million loan fee. I don't know what the obligation is.
The whole total of his deal is going to come to about 71 million pounds.
That's just absolutely crazy.
So they're paying 15 million euros. So it's 81.5 million euros is the overall total. They're paying something like 15 million on a loan fee, and then the rest is an obligation. So Chelsea, they pulled out of the deal because of the injury to Liam Delap. So by the mind, this is how crazy this deal was. Nicholas Jackson was on a plane to Munich when Chelsea pulled the plug on the deal mid-air whilst he's in the air for him to then land and then come back, only for then Chelsea to then recall Mark Gui, who was on loan at Sunderland, for then Chelsea then to reactivate the deal. And initially the deal was only going to be 8 million euro loan fee with an option to buy for 50 or 60 odd million. They then managed to get 15 million pound or 15 million euro loan fee, and then the rest is an obligation to buy. He'll then sign a 5-year contract after his loan deal. So in theory, it's a 6-year deal. The Voltemade one, by the way, I know you brought that one up. I think he's a good player, but do you know what the problem is? Is Newcastle was sat in the same situation Tottenham were all that time ago with Gareth Bale. Everyone knew that Newcastle were about to get 125 million pounds for Isak. So everyone's price tags went up 25%. Cool. This player was worth 40 million quid earlier. Now he's worth 70. And Newcastle are in a position where they can't. So Newcastle were in theory, what Newcastle have done is replace Isak with Voltemade and Wissa.
Yeah.
So they're trying to hope that they're getting two players to replace one in a sense.
I don't think I'll just put my opinion out there. Yeah, I've seen a bit of Voltemade, and I don't think he will do it in the Premier League personally. But
he's a weird one though. But do you know what? He's a weird player because for me, I look at him and go, "You're massive. You should not be as good on the ball as you actually are." I think he's a good player on the football when I watched him play. But do you know what? He's one of those, Chris, and I'll get you. He's one of those that will do absolutely nothing in the Premier League or do amazing in the Premier League. I don't think it'll be in the middle. I think he'll either be, people will go, we don't know how to play against you, or players will go, well, we'll find a way because you're this, that, and the other. So I think he'll either excel or not excel. Another bit of deal just come in on my thing is Rasmus Højlund has left Man United to go on loan to Napoli. Man United, how much did they spend on Rasmus Højlund?
Oh, it's like 72 million or something like that.
Right?
If Lubo was there, he'd have the exact, down to the penny, he would tell you exactly how much it was.
Crazy, isn't it? Both Manchester clubs are about to sign new goalkeepers. What are your thoughts on Donnarumma and Lamnes? Is it Lamins?
Lamins, yeah. I don't know him. I don't know Lamins.
I don't know enough about him.
Donnarumma is one of those at the other end that I equally blows my mind at the amount of money that he's going for. I can't believe. Of course, it is. I'm not a Vicario fan. Let me put it out there. Kudos to Vicario for the weekend. He played really well, but for
Yeah,
me, he's not my keeper. So I think in our chats, like about 6 weeks ago, I was trying to manifest the Spurs for Donnarumma links, but it never happened. And of course, we're never going to compete with City. But I can't. But I don't know how much he's gone for in the end. Is it like 30 million euros, 35 million euros?
Who? Donnarumma?
Yeah.
I actually don't know what the fee is.
I just can't believe
I
that.
don't actually know what I don't know what it does actually say here. It says here from Sky Sports, Darmesh said there's no actual fee against it. Look, I think that's good. I think so many people are already complaining about him not being good with his feet. Trust me, Pep very rarely gets a big deal like this wrong. Like if you think about it, how many massive deals have Man City made and it's not worked?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, James Trafford, I'm not just saying this because of the City game. I'm in conversations with Newcastle. One of my mates is a Newcastle fan, and I was saying to him, I said, mate, I don't know why you're going for him. I think you've got away with it that he's gone to City. I just don't rate the kid.
Do you know that I feel a little bit sorry for James Trafford because in theory, he was almost, for me, put into the deep end, right? We all kind of knew when he signed for Man City that you're the number two, right? You're kind of giving off number two vibes. You've come from a lesser team, not in a disrespectful way. And second of all, you're homegrown, so you're already there for squad purposes for Europe.
Yeah.
But the problem is they couldn't get that number one in immediately. They then didn't want to play Edison because if Edison gets injured, they then can't offload Edison. So he almost was put into a bit of a heartbeat. I feel a little bit sorry for him because I think he was
I think he's failed upwards. Not failed. That's really harsh because he got a really good record, didn't he, at Burnley last season?
But he was a good player. I think
his level of ability for City to come in for him. I'm guessing he's probably club trained at City as well, so maybe that's
that's what I'm saying. So he'll add as a player for their club training for Europe, right?
He is going to do a Scott Carson, isn't he? And he's just going to accumulate medals while he's at City for doing absolutely fuck all.
Is Scott Carson still there? My guy, by the way.
I think he might have left last summer. I think
my guy. Any Rangers fans? Yusuf Chemty, who's at Everton, has gone for £10 million to Rangers. Not a very good player, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Look, I think we're at a position now where we're really at a position where we need to see. It is what it is, right? Look, I think on an overall, am I happy with the window? Yeah. I think we've signed players that I'm really happy with. Is there a part of me that sits back and goes, surely we could have gone out? And as I said, this left winger didn't have to be a world beater. We didn't have to go out there and spend £100 million on a left winger. For me, I thought there was definitely deals on the cards. There was a few floating about, but we just seemed. Do you know what it felt like? And it felt like for me, and I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. And I'll get your thoughts on it, Chris. You know that cut-off point? And I feel like we're one of those football clubs that don't seem to get that cut-off point right, where it's, okay, we're going for this, that, and the other. Now, okay, we can't go any further than this. We've hit our limit. Because I think everyone just sort of goes, just pay over the odds. Just pay over the odds. Nah, let's be fair. If you're paying any more than £80 million for Savio, you're paying over the odds, right? And we put down a hefty bid. I think our biggest bid was around 70 million euros or whatever, which is about right. So at what point was the problem for me is we went a little bit too long to then go, okay, we're going to pivot now to our next target because we've spent ages here and we're going nowhere, right?
I think that's the problem, or the perceived problem with the window is the optics of how we've behaved over certain deals. So if we'd have landed on this position today without ever having any mention at all of Morgan Gibbs-White or Eze or Savio, I think we'd all be pretty happy. But it just looks as though we have pissed about, frankly, with all three of those deals for various reasons. And that's what I do think that probably feeds the unhappiness of a lot of people. Obviously, we're not going to be perfect. I think for me, Perchy, that there's a clear difference. In fact, let me frame it as a question to you. When was the last window we had that you think was better than this one?
Not good point. As I said, I think that's the thinking of it. It's a very, very good point, right? I can't think back actually. When was the last time? Basically, I'm trying to work out when was the last time we brought in 4 first-team starters.
I mean, probably when Bale left, right?
Sure. I mean, you could argue when we brought in a few other, we brought in, but then players that I actually rated is the equal part, right? Yeah, no, I think it's a good question for the chat. If anyone knows, I think to be fair, Chris, this is the one that I'm disappointed in, because I thought if you could have got Jack Grealish on loan, I think you look back at it now, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But so many people told me, nah, he's not good enough. He's washed. He's transformed Everton. But just one signing has transformed how good Everton play, right? I mean, he's had 4 assists already. And I think then you sit back and look and go, how mad if we not get Jack Grealish? Chris, good point. Chris Master in there. Massive point on that for me. That's the one I would have got.
There's no revisionism there from me and you, and I know Savva was the same. We were big advocates of getting Grealish in. I don't see any argument that stacks up that says Grealish is washed up in any way. I don't think there's any evidence for it. And yeah, he started amazingly. It had been absolutely perfect for us. Perfect. And he holds the ball up. We struggled to hold the ball up so much. But anyway.
But it almost felt like it was too good to be true, Jack Grealish did. It was almost like, and then he goes to Everton and you go, okay, cool, fine, it is what it is. Maybe we're looking bigger. But it just felt at the time that was the one. That was the one for me. Guys, any more? I think the window closes in 15 minutes. I'm just looking at it now. Burnley have completed the signing of Florentino Luis on loan from Benfica. Do you remember this, Chris? This will show if you remember. Do you remember this kid, Florentino Luis? That was everyone talking about this kid being the wonder kid back in the day. Maybe it's my Football Manager knowledge of this, by the way. From right saying, I want to say he went to Barcelona for a period or something, and then he never really. Did anyone in the chat remember it? But he's gone on loan to Burnley. Marco Asensio has completed his loan move to Fenerbahce. That's done. Again, another one. I sit and go, Marco Asensio for me just felt like a no-brainer on loan. But yeah, but in fairness, we did buy Xavi Simons.
The Super Kids, when I played Football Manager, I'm old enough that I played Championship Manager first.
I played Championship Manager as well.
Yeah, the Super Kids were Cherno Samba. Remember him?
Yes, Cherno Samba.
Zola Makoku.
Do you remember the Mexican guy, Carlos Fierro? Oh, mate. Well, if you ever signed that kid, he was the one. He was the FM Wonder kid.
I remember that for a couple of years that Taribo West was always available on a free when you started the game. So you just went and signed Taribo West. He came in. Anyway.
Just before you say, just a couple more deals. Ajax have completed beaten Celtic to signing Kasper Dolberg. He was already, am I right in saying he was already at Ajax before?
Yeah, I'm sure he was. He's the only.
Ajax are bringing Dolberg back to replace Broby, who went. Another deal. Anthony has confirmed his deal as that has been completed to Real Betis. And lots of money, by the way.
That's my theory as to why Eric Ten Hag was sacked today. I've got this. I just in my head. I reckon they sat down this morning and said, "Right, Eric, it's transfer deadline day. Who should we go for?" And he said, "Let's go for Anthony." And they said, "Right, that's it. Fuck off." That's my theory.
The one thing that I've just read on here, I'll read it out to you. They've completed the deal for nearly £22 million. Bear in mind they spent like 90 on him or something. It was stupid, it was. But they have got a 50% sell-on clause on him. So they're basically just praying he does well and someone massive signs him for stupid money. But yeah, that Anthony going to Real Betis, I think that's a good move for Real Betis because I think he went there, and I thought he was brilliant there. Actually, when I watched him play, I thought he was I think he just needs a home. He's one of those players that everyone says is shit, but for me, he's a player that just needed. He went to Man United too early, and it was a chaotic system at Man United anyway. He needs to just go and settle now, get a couple of years under your belt at Real Betis, and I think you'll see a player come out of him. And I think people will just jump to him going, "Oh, he's crap." Yeah, but everyone in that Man United system just wasn't working right.
Well, he was never worth the 90 million for a start. And then that's not his fault. But when you're going for that level of money, it's inevitable that that's going to weigh on your shoulders a little bit. And I think it really did with him, right? He did his best to try and make a difference. I'm not sure he ever really recovered from the little kind of, was it sort of pirouette on the ball?
Yeah, when everyone called him the fidget spinner, didn't they? It became the meme. Guys, as I said, big up in the chat, guys, come on, smash the like button. We've got 450 of you watching, but only 220 likes. Sort it out. Come on, get that to 300. Let's have a word and sort that out now. That'll be good. We've got a super chat. Big up to the super chat of a user. Anyone looking for Lookman? I hope you've done that as a play on words, because that was good. Look, again, it's one of those. I think we left it too late in the window for a player to come in. For me, as I said, no brainer. I think, Chris, do you agree? No brainer.
The only explanation I can come up with is I just don't think he's the guy for Thomas Frank, because I think if he was, it's an obvious deal to do. And if he wasn't and he was available on a loan, I still think you go and do it. But Atalanta have been clear they want to get rid of him.
You would have done it if you did it, you did it last week. Last minute, right? I'll just read out. I've just seen a list of. It's a long list that Sky Sports have just posted on their thing. I've got their feed automatically refreshing at the moment. So I'm going to read these up really quickly. Deadline day transfers. Jackson to Bayern Munich. Lamnas to Man United. Elliott and Sancho to Aston Villa. Isak and Guehi to Liverpool. Not sure about the Guehi one. I think it might get done. Edison to Fenerbahce. Hincapié to Arsenal. Kolo Muani to Tottenham. Gundogan to Galatasaray. Uche, Kavanagh and Solomon to Palace. It's just refreshed on me as I was doing that. Kevin Chukwueze, George have gone to Fulham on deadline day. O'Reilly to Marseille. Kwalambano, Bakwa, McNeil, and Gallen have gone to Forest. Forest have just signed 4 players on deadline day, which is crazy. Sunderland have tried to match it. They've gone and got in Broby Gertruda. By the way, Gertruda's a good signing, by the way. That's a great bit of business by Sunderland. And Bertrand Traore. Wissa has gone to Newcastle. That looks like it's going to go. Igor and/or Disasi to West Ham. So maybe Disasi going to West Ham. Reece Nelson to Brentford. Harry Wilson to Leeds. Roll, I can't pronounce this guy's first name, but it's Roll, has gone to Everton. Not good little German player, by the way. Keep an eye on him. Kivior's gone to Porto. Fabio Vieira's gone to Hamburg to join up with Vuskovic. Akanji to Inter Milan. Josh Brownhill on a free transfer has gone to Wolves. By the way, Josh Brownhill was on a free. He's gone to Wolves. And Fofana has gone to Celtic. Sorry, my throat was trying to read all those out. Blah, that's crazy. Isak deal to Liverpool is effectively done, which has been said by Vinny O'Connor, who is at Liverpool's training ground. He's there. I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of these sort of flying through. Right. Cream. Yeah, the Turkish transfer window stays open for 2 more weeks. You're right. That is true. It's been a wild window, man. Wild window. What is? I'm going to ask you this, and guys in the chat. In theory, we've got 7 minutes left. If something out of the hat comes out of nowhere, I will keep you updated with anything that happens. Of all the signings we've made, rank them out of 10, player by player. And guys in the chat, do that yourself. So the players we signed, you can include, if you wanted to include Danzo and Tell and all that, like you can. I'm talking about the players that we've signed that weren't here last year, right? Chris?
I was waiting for you to pull them up or go through them one by one.
Oh, no. I was sort of so fine. If we can do it one by one in the chat, guys. Everyone in the chat can get involved with this. Okay, we'll start with our first signing, Mohamed Kudus. Out of 10, what are we rating a Mohamed Kudus out of 10?
I mean, technically, Tell was the first signing, I suppose.
Sure. I mean, I'm more talking about the ones that weren't here last year, right? The ones that weren't here last year. Let's not bother with Tell, Danzo. There's no Vuskovic and all these lot, right? There's no real point.
Kudus, good player, man. Good player. I mean, I don't know if we could have done much better. So they go in 9s and 10s. I was thinking, yeah.
I've seen there's some 9s, there's some 10s, there's some 8s.
8 to 9, 8.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. He's a 9 for me.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with Mohamed. I'm so happy with the Mohamed Kudus. I think he's an absolute phenomenal football player.
My only question is, I've got a mate who's a West Ham fan, and he said, "Yeah, you'll love him for a period until he gets fed up and then can't be bothered." So we'll see. I think it all depends on Kudus himself. As long as he's motivated, great. Interested to see the non-motivated Kudus. So hopefully we don't see too much of that.
So I don't know when this was. I'm assuming this was earlier today. Tottenham are set to walk away from any potential deal from Ademola Lookman. Atalanta were willing to sell the forward for £43 million, but Tottenham will not agree to Spurs' demands to sign the player on an initial loan with an option to buy. The club have prioritised the central forward of Kolo Muani. So this was earlier on today. I'm just reading that now. Yeah. Look, I get it. The question for me and the answer, if this is the right move with Lookman, I think depends within the next 12 months. And I don't like to be that guy, because for me, I'm one of those get it done now kind of guys. But if we don't get a better player within the next 12 months, then it does look really, really, really bad on Tottenham. If Tottenham are thinking, do you know what, we can get Savio in the next 12 months, as an example, I get it. But I will always say you've got to resolve things for now. But we'll carry on with our little. We've got 8s, 9s, 8 for Kudus. Bobby Andrews has done them all. I like it. 9 for Kudus, 7 for Muani, 9 for Simmons, 1 for Tell, 3 for Takai, and 7 for Danzo. Look, Takai was actually the first one if we count them all.
I don't know how can you rate Takai? You must know what he's like.
Takai is one of those that can either be a 0 or a 10, right? We don't really know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He could come in and we go, oh my God, we've just signed the reincarnation of Maldini at centre half. Or we could tell him and he could have 2 left feet, right? We don't really know. So I think it's really rating Takai is harsh for me. Like, I think from what I've seen of Takai, and you can obviously judge it because it's the J League. I go, good little player, looks a unit, knows what he's doing. We will only find out when he's back, because he's got plantar fasciitis, which is a horrible injury to have. Horrible one. 9s, guys. We'll do the rankings on. We'll do the whilst Chris is just on. Oh, Chris, he's literally just come back as I said that. Well, after Mohamed Kudus, we went and brought in João Paulinho, a player that I think revolutionises us in the sense that we haven't had a real defensive midfielder for what feels like the last one was Wanyama. Am I wrong? Could you argue after that? Who else after Wanyama?
Would you argue Sissoko-ish, sort of a more of an 8?
He was never a good enough DM. Like, he was
crap. It's crap. I was just saying he's sort of played there a bit.
I mean, an actual proper defensive midfielder where you could argue maybe Oliver Skip, but again, not very good in that sense. I think that the first real quality DM we've had since Wanyama, and I'm going to go out and say that, and for me, he's an 8 out of 10 for me. Again, another 8 that you go.
Yeah, mate. I'd say 9, to be honest, because
that's fair.
We haven't trapped ourselves into anything here. Like we can, if he's brilliant, we can make it permanent. We don't have to. It absolutely addresses the most glaring gap in our squad for years that we've had for ages, and yeah, prem proven, as they say. Like, I got nothing bad to say about it at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, people are saying, it's quite funny. Like, Takai is never playing a game. I think he will. I think you'll start seeing Takai playing games. You'll start seeing him playing in this sort of Carabao Cups and stuff like that. I think you'll see him play. For me, he's one of those though that you use now and then you loan next season, in my opinion. Just to confirm, breaking news. There is breaking news. The transfer window is shut. Boom, slam shut. That's just popped massively on my screen. Bournemouth have agreed to sign Favre on loan. Didn't they have him on loan last season? Roman Favre. I feel like they had him on loan last season. He's at Verona. I could be wrong. I feel like they did have him last season on loan. Yeah, Chris, that's fine. No worries, mate. I've just seen your message. Yeah, look, Paulinho for me is an 8. Chris, I think, said he's a 9. We'll move on to Xavi Simons. And what is your thoughts? The window is shut. Yeah, the window is now closed. Look, Xavi Simons for me, how do you rate Xavi Simons out of 10? I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm going to say Xavi Simons is a 10 out of 10 signing. I think Xavi Simons is the best signing we have made as a football club. The best. I'm going out on a limb. And I'm going to clip this and I'm going to put it on one of Savva's shorts for this, just so it gets sticks there. Because I know people go, oh, you always run away from your things. I think Xavi Simons is the best player we've signed since I've been supporting Tottenham Hotspur. I'm 33. And I genuinely think he's our best player we've signed in a while. I think he is the 10 out of 10 signing. When everyone says, oh, where was he in your list of attacking midfielders? Where was he in your list of attacking midfielders to sign this window? He wasn't on my list because I didn't think he was gettable. I genuinely never thought Xavi Simons for me was ever gettable. Van der Ven is better than some. I mean, different positions, my man. For me, Xavi Simons is the best player we've signed. I've seen a sign at Tottenham Hotspur. 33, so that counts the likes of Van der Vaart. And I'm not talking about players, how they progress. Like Gareth Bale became a better football player, but as of signing him, right, guys, just to make context, because people might jump at me with other players. Just a sort of a news, Akanji set for his move to Inter Milan. The loan, by the way, the deal for Akanji to go to Inter Milan is nothing, really. Not €1 million loan fee and an obligation to buy him for 15 million euros. Nothing in this market. Crystal Palace have confirmed the signing of JD Canvot from Toulouse. He's a young centre-half from France. He'll wear the number 23. He costs £21 million, a relative hefty fee for a 19-year-old. It's a big step up. And he's excited, he says, to join Crystal Palace. I think it's a good signing. Good signing. And I'll keep your eyes on anything that sort of flies by. We are now in the stoppage time of the deadline day now. This is stoppage time. The 90 minutes is up. Now we're finishing it off. Guys, I'm just trying to get my breath back. Let me get some drink in my mouth. Make sure you guys, by the way, are smashing the like button. How many of you have liked it? I will find out. 268. Come on, 300. We want 300 to hit the like button. Let's do that now. Yeah, I wasn't old enough for Ginola. I can't claim Ginola. I wasn't old enough when we signed him. No, I'm talking about me watching football, right? It's a good point. I think Ginola's in that conversation. What about Solomon? From at the moment, my friend, he is going to Crystal Palace, but I haven't got any confirmation. When I get confirmation, I will let you guys know. Something has come up, and it is relating Crystal Palace, but it isn't about Solomon. Odson Edouard has joined Lens. The striker spent last season on loan. He is joined on a permanent deal to join Lens in France. So Odsonne Edouard has gone back to Lens, but on a permanent deal. Is that happened? Ben Chilwell to Strasbourg? Nah, that's a wind up. I haven't seen that come up yet. If that's true, that's crazy. Last I heard, anonymous hero is Brian Hill is going back to Girona for 10 million euros on a permanent deal. I'm just checking, keeping an eye out on if any deals have come through. I'm just keeping an eye out. People give me. I want people to give me updates. I can't see any updates at the moment. Yes, the Turkish window's open, still open. A big up a user with another super chat. Rate the window. Can we cope without a left winger? Well, look, I think the proof is in the pudding, right? We've got a lot of players that can play there. We just haven't got that quality at left wing, right? So, yeah, look, can we? I think we can just about. The one thing that we'll get away with is Brennan Johnson will nick a few goals. Do I think he's a great player? No, but he will nick a few goals. I'm just waiting. Nothing's refreshed just yet. Bournemouth Favre loan deal is hanging in the balance. It's just said in a twist. Bournemouth deal for Roman Favre is very much in the balance, just as the window closes in Italy and England. Yeah, Ben Chilwell going to Strasbourg is wild, by the way. That is wild. Talk about that. Oh, Chris has had to go. I'm assuming he will pop back. Once Chris pops back, I will bring him back in. Or if he doesn't, it's fine. Why not Lookman? Well, it turns out we weren't willing to pay the money for him. We didn't fancy the money. 7 out of 10. I've said it's a 7 out of 10 Philly. 7 out of 10 for me. I think it's a fair shout. Oh, you guys are having a chinwag. Levy refused the well, we don't know if it was Daniel Levy. We can't just jump straight on that one. For me, look, I think the question will be asked, and I'm just playing devil's advocate for the conversation of the debate. If Spurs are confident that they're going to get their number one target in 6 months, well, say 6 months, in 4 months, 3 months, whatever it is, October, November, December, 4 months, sorry, until we get to January, and they're confident to get their signing in January, I get it. However, I get it where people will go, you've got to get your business done now. So, I'll just see Chris's message. That's absolutely fine, mate. Look, I think, this is the hindsight, right? In hindsight's a wonderful thing, because if in January we go and sign Savio, you go, absolutely, it's fine, get it. But if we don't get our left-wing target that we need in January, people will go and say, well, why have you not paid £43 million for Ademola Lookman? That's the question people will ask yourselves. I think he did, mate. From what we're saying is Tottenham were in from this window, and they were in from today, but weren't willing to pay the money. Any more news? I need news. I'm just keeping it. I'm refreshing Sky Sports as well. Nothing's updated on my Sky Sports window. Big up Rob, 8.5 window for me. Personally, I'm satisfied. Need more in Jan. I agree with that. Nothing's updated. I've still not got no updates. I'm waiting for updates from Sky Sports. From what I've read, Spurs is that they want 55 million. Sorry, I read that wrong. 55 million euros. That's what I've read as well. But I don't necessarily live on that mantra. For me, the January window is as good as getting in a player now. If you're going to leave it last minute, go and get one sorted, right? Akanji status. Akanji set for Inter Milan. They're going to sign him for on loan for a 1 million loan fee and then an obligation of 15 million euros. So a package of 16 million euros. Deal sheet in for Johan Wissa. A deal sheet has been submitted for Johan Wissa. The transfer to Newcastle, deal worth £55 million, is agreed between Newcastle and Brentford for the striker. That's in. That's the most update on that front. Big up, Bobby. How you doing, mate? Thomas Frank came out and said Tell's not a striker. He is a striker, not a left wing. So makes Tell signing even more. I don't think he had the option to sign Tell. I think it was done before he got here. That's my thoughts on him. Fabrizio Mark, so Strasbourg agreed deal to sign Ben Chilwell on a 2-year contract. Here we go. Medical done. That's wild. That's mad. I think that's crazy. But it is what it is. When you've got this is the deals like this are why the multi-club thing gets really Is that true? That hasn't come through just yet, Angus, on my front, that if he's staying, if it comes up on my screen, I will read it out. It hasn't come up on mine just yet. If Guehi's staying at Crystal Palace, that is hectic. He turned up to Liverpool, had his medical, and then with the whole situation with Igor, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we did get Luke. We signed players in January. It's not like you can't do it. So this is saying from major breaking news is that Mark Guehi stays at Crystal Palace. I think I feel for Crystal Palace here, right? Crystal Palace are stuck between a rock and a hard place because now the player is now going to go for nothing, right? He's going to go for nothing. I feel for Crystal Palace here. I think they're really struggling there. They're going to. I don't think them not signing Guehi will cost them. I think Liverpool will be absolutely fine. They've got good centre halves anyway. Mark Guehi was almost like a prize that they can get at the end, right? Ten Hag did get sacked after 2 games, mate. Honestly, that man needs to just get out of Europe. Ten Hag's next job will be in Saudi. I'm calling it now. Calling that now. Yeah. Yeah, the Mahfouz, that's a good point. I think this is the other point. You know, when we talk about buying and stuff, when we talk about players buying in this time of the window, it causes the problem, right? Because now Palace is stuck getting hijacked on their centre half that needed, and now they've got to pull out of that. They now will lose him on a free. They'll lose him on a free in the next summer. Not good. It'd be interesting to see if Guehi ends up going to Liverpool next year or if he goes somewhere else. Because in a year's time, right, he can have the pick of the bunch. Yes, Fabrizio did give a here we go on that. But let's be fair, he's not meant to know that Igor's going to get hijacked, blah, 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 right? Come on. I think we give Fabrizio a little bit of a I think he'll go Saudi. I think he'll go Saudi and just get a bit of a payout there. Yeah, now it's come through. Ben Chilwell signs a deal to go to Strasbourg from Chelsea. That's hectic. That's just come through now. Nicholas Jackson's loan deal to Bayern is done. That's come through. Just waiting for stuff to just sort of creep over the line. People saying Moani will play on the left wing is crap. Only got him. I don't think he plays on the left wing. I think he plays up top. Do you know what? This could be. Adam might have nailed this. I could see that. Glasner's not going to be happy, and I could see them getting him going Leverkusen. Good shout. Adam Feldman with the shout of the day there. I like that one. Yeah, Daniel, the problem is when a team like Man City say we're not selling him, you've got to then go and say, well, what do we do? The key bit is doing it at the right time and getting the right deal done. Javi Gallan to Nottingham Forest has collapsed. Okay. Wow. Good player, Javi Gallan. It must be hard. I'm going to talk about this. It must be hard as a player, right? If a deal does collapse. If a deal collapses, it's a really awkward situation for a player, right? Because a player's now got to go back to their parent club, thinking that they were going to make a move. They've got to do this, that, and the other. Yeah, I could see. I think that's harsh on, but especially also harsh if you're traveling from another country, right? So Javi Gallan's going to come from Madrid all the way to England to Nottingham to get a deal done, then have to fly all the way home. Yeah, it must be really annoying, that. Yeah, Glasgow would win you the league, in my opinion. I think it's good. Yeah. Or anything. If I'd love Angela. Actually, no, I don't, because I actually like Crystal Palace. I don't want to put them in deal with Angepostecoglou for me. I think Savino comes in January. Look, if it is, you've got 4 months to get the deal sorted, right? You can get a deal sorted with Man City in 4 months. Get the deal done, and then on the 1st of January, he can be registered to play for Tottenham. Get it done, though. Here's a question. Lookman now or Savino Rodgers in 12 months? It's easy to say it, right, Adam? Good question. For me, Savio is the one. I think Savio, for me, is the one. But you have to get it on. Whoever in the chat has said that Savio is the Guehi is off. I've just been told that the deal for Mark Guehi is on. That the deal sheet has been submitted by Liverpool in time. So Mark Guehi isn't off, as of what Sky Sports are telling me. So Mark Guehi deal on, not off. Harry Amas has joined Sheffield Wednesday on loan from Man United. That's also done. But yes, the big news is that Mark Guehi isn't off, as of what Sky Sports are telling me. Yes, Mark Guehi is still on. So that's the one at the moment. I mean, you know, it's sad when this is what we're talking about. We still haven't got any of the big news that Kolo Muani is done yet. We believe it is done. We just take ages to announce stuff as well. I'll keep you updated anyway with transfers. Yeah, so... Oh, I'm yawning. I always seem to yawn when I'm talking loads. I can't see how Jed Spence covers the left and the right hand side of defence at the same time. Archie Gray's going to end up. You're right, Philly. That's another key one for me. Liverpool submit the deal sheet for Mark Guehi's £35 million move. Medical also done up to Crystal Palace. Oh, it's going to be horrible if he doesn't let. As I said, I'm going to say it now, and I echo it again. I said, "Oh, I've just lost my screen." Am I still live? I'm still live. Yeah, I feel for Crystal Palace here because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I feel for Mark Guehi as well because it's not his fault. They're going to have a player that's going to have wanted his big move to Liverpool. You've got a club like Palace that have now got to, if they've got to make a massive decision on a player that has been very respectful, by the way, very, very respectful. It has Mark Guehi. He hasn't demanded a move. He's played up until this. So that's the one for me. That's going to be a key one. It's going to be mad. I think it'll get done. Did you say we're done? The window's closed, my man. We can't get it. If no deal sheet hasn't gone in, we can't get it done. Get Lookman and Savio in a year and let them fight it out. I just don't see us getting them both. The problem is we needed them now, right? We needed them now. Is there a grace period? In what sense? Now, if a deal's done, right? You've got 2 hours, though, to do your deal sheet. Well, if a deal sheet is submitted before the cut-off, which was 7 o'clock, you have 2 hours to get it done, right? You have 2 hours to get a deal sheet sorted. So let's see if that gets done. I'll keep my thing. Is updating not yet? Is this about? I think, guys, I think the Semenyo one for me is a little bit wayward. I don't see us getting Semenyo at all now. I think that is a bit of an off one now. Oh, here's one. Watch us go inside. Dele Alli's contract has been terminated at Como. Dele Alli's contract terminated at Como. He is now a free agent. No one in the chat tell me we should be signing Dele Alli, please. I'm almost debating taking the authority to perm ban you if anyone in the chat says, let's get Dele Alli on a free transfer. Nah, not for me. Ooh. Bomber. Lemic Laporte's gone back to Bilbao. That's a great deal for them. I think that's a really, really good bit of business. That is Laporte. Yeah, see, Phil, if anyone says, let's get Dele, yeah, you might get perm banned. If anyone says, get Dele Alli on a free transfer, you might get perm banned. He only costs $1 million. He's worth fuck all now, isn't he? Let's be fair. We may have got him for $5 million. He's worth fuck all now. Where is Savva? Savva is at the moment having dinner in Turkey. He's on holiday. So you've got my ugly mug today. My ugly mug. If not, let's get Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen on a free. Bring the boys back together. Oh, don't. That'll be a Do you know what? It's such a Tottenham thing to do to bring Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen on a free. I'm just going to... 1 second. Hang on. Let's see. Let's see what people say. Yeah, no. Danny Rose is unavailable as well, isn't he? We already have Timu Dele Alli. Who's that? Who's that? Get Danny Rose back from left back cover. You might as well at this point. It's funny now. Is there any other crazy freebies that we might get? No, mate. Come on. This is the man's livelihood. Let's not joke around about stuff like that. I wouldn't do it. Ali, Ericsson, and Rose on a free. How Tottenham is that? Magassa, I tell you what, good little player, Magassa. Oh, he's one of those. I'd keep your eye out on a Magassa. Genuinely would keep an eye on him. I think he's a good little player from Monaco, from West Ham. The question is, though, is West Ham's system going to suit him? But I think he's a good little player. Understand. Just so you know, Ali Gold has just said that Spurs and Palace have signed the deal sheet for Manor Solomon to go on loan to Crystal Palace. So it looks like Manor Solomon to Crystal Palace is all but done if the medical and all that lot. I'm happy with that. Not happy, not complaining. Didn't Lamella retire the other day? I think he retired, am I right? Yeah, we get Wanyama. Let's get the band back together, right? Raul Albiol's available on a free. I love it, to be fair. That's amazing. Raul Albiol, what a football. By the way, what a career from him, by the way. Good old school, but wouldn't have him now. But what a player. Fraser Forster. Deal sheet in for Harvey Elliott. That's been done. The deal's initial loan with an obligation to buy for £35 million. Good deal from Aston Villa. That's a good bit of business. Hamburg have appeared to have teased the signing of Fabio Vieira from Arsenal. He's going on loan with an option to buy. So Fabio Vieira has joined Luka Vuskovic at Hamburg. Idea. We got Savio on a free. Give NC a backhander. I don't know what you mean, a user. Am I missing something? Not sure. But big up to you. Thank you for the super chat. Big up, my man. Big up to you. Basuma stays there. Maybe not a bad thing. Phil, I think he's going to Turkey. Turkish window still open for 2 weeks. I'm I think he will go. He'll go to Galatasaray Fenerbahce before the end of the window. For me, I think he'll be gone. I don't see him playing another game for Tottenham. My opinion. Bring back Werner. I mean, we might as well at this stage. Why not? Timo, big up Timo. Awful football player, but hey ho. What am I missing? Have I missed? What comments are we talking about? Don't know what that's about. Big up Glenn. I'm pissed off we didn't sign Lookman or another left wing. I agree. I think the left wing for me is the one that's really frustrating, because I think the majority of it I went like the business that we've done. But yeah, you're right. Look, it is what it is, right? I'd keep. Look, I think bridges have been burnt, my friend. It's easy to say keep a player, but if a bridge has been burnt, will it happen? Will it not? I think that's the key bit for me. Will I ever collab with Lee Gunner again? Look, probably not. Lee's busy, man. I like Lee. Lee's a good guy, but he's busy at the moment. He's doing his thing, man. If he asks me, I'll consider it. I've nothing against Lee. Has Malik Fofana ended up anywhere? No, I think from what I read, Mahfouz, is that Leon and the player basically said we're not going to deal with it on deadline day. If you wanted him, you should have come earlier. Which is why I say get deals done early and not late, right? Solomon is better than any left wing option. We're selling him mad. I don't think so. I don't think Manor Solomon's anywhere near what we've got. He's crap. I'll be honest, he's crap, Manor Solomon. Let's be fair with it, right? Let's be fair with Manor Solomon. And I'll call it a big up RBS, man. Big up for the comment. If Manor Solomon is that good, why has no one till deadline day gone in for him? Why has no one gone in for Manor Solomon until deadline day? For me, it is what it is. Nothing's updated. I'm waiting for there's nothing else that's updated yet. I'm trying to get more news. Bridges get burnt, Perchy, player manager and football thing. Yeah, but mate, there's a reason why he's been linked to go to Turkey, right? He will go to Galatasaray, or it was Galatasaray he's linked with. He'll go Galatasaray. I'm telling you now, that'll be done. Johnson, Tell, and Odegaard West. I don't think he's any better than any of those three. At least Brennan Johnson scores goals, right? I get it, they're crap, but I don't. This revision. Do you know what it is? This revisionism that Manor Solomon is any good is mental. What has Manor Solomon done to get him? Oh look, but I don't rate Johnson, Tell, or Odegaard. I equally don't rate Manor Solomon. I think it's really, really silly for me. Perchy show, wow, I'm in dream now. Big up, man. Big up to you. I'm taking over one step at a time, my guy. Big up. Thank you very much for the kind comment. He's not crabby. He's playing well before he got injured. Nah, not for me. Not for me. I don't think he's any good. If he, as I said, if he was any good, it'd have gone. Someone would have signed him. The fact no one signed him tells me everything until now, right? When Palace are desperate. Mahfouz, bang on. He has to be sold. Go and get some freaking money for some of these players. Big up, down. The like ratio is pretty good. Maybe Savva was the problem. Hey, it isn't bad, is it? We've got a good like ratio at the moment. We probably don't have enough viewers, though. Come on. But it's what it is, man. Big up, everyone. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. I'm waiting for news. Solomon is better than Tell. And it's not much. Sure. But not for me. I don't think he's that. Not for me. Transfer window in Turkey doesn't close. Yes, I think we've already reminded everyone on that. Tell and Odegaard will cook. We're under. No, I've seen nothing. There's a reason why Odegaard and Tell very rarely play games of football under this manager. Right? He's had enough chances to start Odegaard, start Tell, bring them on, give him a consistent amount of time. He doesn't for me. Not for me. All Solomon did was get 2 assists as soon to be relegated Burnley, and I don't think he's that good, mate. People can try and convince me all they want. I don't rate him. It's fine. If you rate him, if people do rate him, it is what it is, man. But he's not for me. Yeah. Danny, I get it. I don't use ages as a barometer. For me, they're not for me. I think all 3 of them are very mediocre, if not poor, to be honest. Perchy, next season we have to buy a CDM, another centre mid, a striker, a left back, right back, left wing, 5 players we will need. We have to kick the can down. Look, the CDM, if we've got Paulinho, right? So you can knock one off. So you might get Paulinho, keep a hold of him. Now, another centre mid, maybe. Let's see how good Papsara is this season. Let's see how good Gray develops. I hear all about Gray. Let's see how he develops. Striker, 100%. Striker is so important in the summer now. Next summer, you've got to offload one of Richarlison and or Solanke, if not both of them. You've got to, right? You can't hold on to them. Left back, right back. For me, right back's okay. Left back's okay if you want to consider Spencer's your left back, but you've then got to get either a right back to cover Porro or a left back to cover Udogie, if you get my point. Which one? One or the other. Left wing, massive importance for me. 5 players will need. Yeah, look, I think you could probably work that to 3 key players, right? I'm not talking about squad at this point. Key players, 3. But you get there, right? You start getting there. Some transfer news. We like transfer news. Brentford have considered the signing of Reece Nelson on loan to be done. The paperwork was all done in time. That is going to be completed shortly. And Bromley have signed Manchester City fullback Lakil Samuel on a loan till the end of the season. Big up Bromley. Lakil, England under 21, has joined Bromley. So good luck to him at Bromley in League 2. What phase, mate? Mate, I'm in goated phase. Doesn't look like it for me. Solomon is on his way to Crystal Palace, my friend. Don't see it. Has Manos as Gil been confirmed out? 10 mil, is that done? Has anyone confirmed that Brian Hill is done? Have we seen the final days of Brian Hill at Tottenham Hotspur? I mean, this is my point, right? If Solomon was so good and so great in the Championship, why haven't Leeds gone and got him? He was there going, well, you were brilliant. Just my point. If he was that good. Don't. Because it's very Tottenham to go and do it, isn't it, right? It is very, very Tottenham to go and do it. Yeah, Lubo will appear if you say Gray 3 times. Big up to guys from Spurs 5. Guys, I will redirect you at 8 o'clock over to the Spurs 5. So those guys are going live. There's no Savva. So I think they've got a substitution. But I don't know yet. You'll find out when you get there. I think Savva's been subbed out. No, Savva, he's out with a Turkish injury. He's not getting his teeth done. Newcastle teenager Trevan Sanusi, is joining Ligue 1 Lorient. By the way, he keep an eye out on this kid. He's meant to be a very good little player. He's meant to be very highly rated. And he's joined Lorient. The 18-year-old has joined Lorient on loan. So it's a good move. French league's a good move from Perchy. The best deal of the whole transfer window is us making 10 mil on Brian Hill in his final year of his contract. It's even more impossible to break it. Yeah, look. Get whatever. The fact that we got 10 mil, I'm happy. We've got money for him, right? Solomon's so good. Any money for him, we didn't pay him, and no one wanted to pay any money for us for him. A colossal waste of time. Chris B's come back. We're going for another half an hour, my friend. 25 minutes or so for 8 o'clock.
Yeah, did you call me Chris B? Wrong Chris.
Did I call you Chris B? I thought I said Chris C. Did I say Chris B?
Dare you call me Chris B? Yeah.
I thought I called you Chris C. But if I did, I do apologise. I got my Chris's wrong.
Misalphabetise me.
We need to find Chris A, whoever he is. Big up Chris A, whoever you are. Look, mate, I'm hearing all this. The guys in the chat here. Chris is back and we'll have a chat. Loaning Solomon, yes or no? If you agree with us loaning Solomon, yes or no, just put yes or no in the chat. Because it feels like some in the chat are going, yes, get him gone. He's not good enough. Some in the chat are going, nah, you got to keep a hold of him. Chris, I'll ask you this. Why would we keep a hold of Manuel Solomon?
I can see the argument. Like, he's probably the best natural left winger we have. But ultimately,
I genuinely don't see what people see in him, though. I get
well,
it.
No, but what are the alternatives? Johnson, Tell, Odebear, it's slim pickings, isn't it? So I can see the argument, but for me, ultimately, it just comes down to one thing: he's not good enough. And I do understand an argument of we haven't managed the squad quite right now. So should you keep him for? I'm done with decisions like that. That just leads you to keeping Dross. I sort of get the argument, but look, he's just not good enough for us. Get rid of him. Don't turn it into a situation we've seen with 1,000,001 players that if you've got an opportunity to get rid of him, let's get rid of him, because otherwise he might just be sat here forever until his contract expires. We've got to aspire to do better, and I think we've started to see some of that this window. We've got to keep that on for the next few windows, and Solomon doesn't fit that narrative.
Mate, I agree. The problem is people are saying, "Oh, he's better than Odebear, he's better than Tell, he's better than Johnson."
He is.
I think he's a bit of much of each of them, right? I don't think any one of them there's none of those left wingers that I go, "Oh my God, you're a standout." I think, actually, no, I lie. Brennan Johnson is the standout, not because I think he's a great football player, but because he'll chip in with a few goals here and there. So you go, you're the standout. The bar's really low, by the way. I'm not sitting here justifying it. The bar's really low, but Tell, Odebear, and Solomon, for me, all fall in that same bracket. Well, you're not going to sell Matisse Tell. You're not going to do it now. We spent money on him maybe next season. And Odebear, for me, is the one that is the number 2 at the moment below Brennan Johnson. So you're not going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you keep a hold. That's why getting rid of, for me, we keep a hold of crap football players because we don't all the time, right? All the time. People are saying yes, no, yes, no, as no replacement. Do you need to replace Manuel Solomon?
I mean, the one thing I would say, going back to what we said when I was on before, it's one thing away at City, but the Bournemouth game that just went on, the weekend that we just played, I'd probably rather Solomon played than Johnson in that. I think he's more likely to beat a man and create something, maybe create a bit of space, put a decent cross in. I don't think Johnson can do any of that. So I understand the argument, but I still fall back to the narrative of, look, if your standards are here, let's maintain those standards and not just drop them down here because, he's the best we've got. Look, get rid of him.
Isn't this the point, right? The people that keep saying the likes of Solomon are the same people demanding Levy to show ambition. Surely it's got to be, you've got to have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, right? Yeah. For me, I just don't. For me, the one thing about Solomon going on loan to Crystal Palace, and by the way, I hope he goes there and has a really good season because they might go and buy him. Isn't that what we should be looking at? Getting a player like him to go out on loan. So you can maybe potentially sign him, and we can make a decision. My phone is going crazy because I thought something was happening. No, it's just also all of FootMob are now confirming all the transfers that have just happened. Eagle is in the deal sheet for him to go to West Ham. That is going to happen. It looks like the defender joining Crystal Palace despite completing a medical this afternoon. West Ham seem to have nicked the deal to take him on loan. Will Asula who was meant to be going to Eintracht Frankfurt on loan with an option to buy him for 30 million quid. That is now off. That deal will not go through. They've pulled out of that, or they couldn't get it done quickly enough. And I've already mentioned about the Newcastle youngster. So they're two new ones that have just flown in at this last moment. So it looks like it's all happening now. Kolo Muani and Tottenham is going to be done. It looks like the deal sheet's been submitted, as has Manor Solomon to Crystal Palace. We can talk about us. Look, I think we know where we're at. Big up to my mate Angus. Big up. Angus has put his question. I pinned it. And I'll let the chat as well decide. Who has had the best transfer window? I see you've intentionally left Liverpool out of there, because I think we would have probably all said Liverpool. But Arsenal, Man City or Chelsea, out of those three teams, that's a good question, because if you'd said Liverpool in there, we'd have probably all said Liverpool. So, guys in the chat, Arsenal, Man City or Chelsea, who has had the best window? And it's obviously subjective in the sense of quality and what they've done for him. Chris, I'll leave it to you to start with. Then, guys in the chat, get your thoughts in. I'll be interested to see what you think.
Well, we'll think about what? Sorry, mate. I was answering a text message from work.
Absolutely fine. This is what happens when you get substitutes on. They don't take it seriously enough.
I'm just not up to I'm putting in Solomon levels of.
You're putting Solomon levels of ability in this stream. I'm joking. No, basically, Angus asked a question. Who's had the best transfer window out of Arsenal, Man City, or Chelsea? As I said, Angus has left out Liverpool, probably understandably, because I think we'd have all said Liverpool. But out of those three things, guys in the chat, get involved as well. I'll be interested, because I know my answer and I want to hear your answer. I'm going to let you go first.
It's a good question. I mean, another question, by the way, is Liverpool's transfer window the greatest transfer window of all time? Like, I can't think of a better one, but that's a different question.
We'll do that. We'll do that one after.
I think Arsenal, if I'm honest. I think Arsenal. I think they've got everything they need to be a proper contender. If Liverpool had had a window, maybe we would expect Liverpool to have that they normally have. I think right now we'd be sat here going, Arsenal have to be title favourites, but no one really saw Liverpool suddenly go into basically play Football Manager and sign 6-7 worldies. I'd say Arsenal. Chelsea for me is a little bit scattergun. I'm not sure the level of quality is quite where Arsenal signings have been. They seem to operate a more quantity over quality approach. And City, something's just not quite right at the moment with the balance at City. I think they're going through a transitional phase still, last season and this season, of refreshing, getting rid of the older players, getting a new generation of players in. And they're clearly good players, but they're going to take a little while to come up to speed with what Pep expects of them, etc. So it's actually been a slightly worrying signs from City, I think, with the way they played against us and then the way they played against Brighton yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and I'm counting this based on incomings and outgoings, right? I'm going to say Chelsea. And the reason why I say Chelsea, I agree with you with the whole scattergun thing. I think Arsenal, in the context, Arsenal have bought the best out of those three teams. But on a whole, Chelsea have their offloadings has been nearly monumental, by the way. I mean, have you seen Chelsea's outgoings this season?
Man, it's a valid point, because what you do automatically is what I just did, and we say how good a transfer window, and you just think of the players they've bought, right?
Of course, yeah. Naturally, that's what we do, right? I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to put this up. This is Chelsea's outgoings this window. All transfers. This is ridiculous. By the way, this doesn't even count. By the way. Where am I going? I've lost it. Oh, here we go. This doesn't even count the ones I don't think that have happened today, by the way. This doesn't even cover what's happened today. If you can see that, let me make that a bit smaller. Oh, what have I done? Anyway, yeah, here. So they have offloaded Madueke, Nkunku, Felix, Petrovic, Okachuru, Dewsbury Hall, Renato Vega, Brozier, Chukwuemeka. By the way, these are all permanent. These aren't transfers where it's loan deals. I haven't even got to loan deals. Amugu, who I didn't even know was a Chelsea player until they sold him. Bashir Humphreys, Kepa, Bettinelli, Gilchrist. And then they've obviously ignore the loans for this conversation. That then doesn't even account for the ones that they've done today. So Tyreek George is gone.
Yeah.
Jackson's gone. I feel like another one's gone, but it's just mental, right? So you're right on incomings. Incomings, I get it. I think Arsenal on incomings alone have been the better. But I think when you think about the money Chelsea have recouped, that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is, but I suppose ultimately, it depends how you look at it. So I completely agree with you. Their business dealings are absolutely mental, and we can laugh at Todd Bowley and say it's a basket case of a club, but my God, they do it well. But ultimately, I guess the counter argument would be all of the business you do outgoing doesn't actually improve your first team, right? So how does that help you move forward? It funds the deals that you bring in, but ultimately it's still going to be the players that you bring in that are going to dictate how your season goes. Your season's never going to be dictated by how good you are at selling, even though they are absolutely that they are the standard. They are the market leaders for selling.
Chris, I'm going to have to politely stop you because I've got breaking news for you.
Interesting.
Mark Guehi won't join Liverpool ultimately. Crystal Palace haven't found any replacement valuable for a centre-back. Oliver Glasner has made it clear he found it unacceptable. Mark Guehi stays at Crystal Palace.
Yep. What you might get is you might get him go in January, possibly for a smaller fee, right?
Do you know what? What if I was Crystal Palace now, I would allow if they want him, they should agree a deal now with Liverpool for him to sign either in January, which then gives them 12 months to sign it. But what would you do if you're Mark Guehi right now on a serious level? Like I'm more talking on a human level. The player at the moment is sat in Liverpool in what's that? Melwood, isn't it? Melwood's their training ground. He sat in Melwood, had his medical, waiting for the all clear, and then being told it's off.
Yeah, but I mean, none of us know. I assume maybe some people in the chat do, but none of us know Mark Guehi, right? So I can only go on what we've seen this summer, and he seems to have conducted himself really well. So I'm sure right now he's absolutely gutted. He must be. I'm just not expecting him to be the player to cause a problem because those conversations I think will be happening, Perchy. So I'm pretty sure not Slot, but whoever's in charge of the transfers at Liverpool have gone, look, this is out of our hands, but we still want you, right? We're going to come back in for you, so don't panic. So I don't expect any issues from Guehi. I think he'll go back. He's got to play because if he throws his toys out the pram and that doesn't do his World Cup chances any good. So
the question for me now would be, if I was Mark Guehi, I'm literally talking with no experience as an agent and no experience as a football player, I would be telling them, go back to Palace, be an ultimate professional.
Yeah.
And then in 12 months, don't do anything. Don't do anything in January. Stay at Palace. And then you've got the choice wherever you want to go. You don't have to go to Liverpool. You can go anywhere now on a free transfer.
Yeah. To be fair, in that sense, once Guehi's got over the disappointment of today, he's slightly in a no-lose position because what will happen come January is, I'm sure he's got his heart set on Liverpool, but that doesn't stop Real Madrid coming in January and going, we'll give you £500 away. You just don't know, right? So,
he might have his heart set on Liverpool right now, but you're right. In January, he can have, did you know what this thing is for him in January? European clubs can start knocking on the door. English clubs can't.
Yeah.
So in January, I know
you're right, but I always challenge this a little bit. I mean, they can, right? It's just that the deal can't get completed till the summer. But yeah,
sure. But my point is though, in January, everyone's going to be knocking on his door now. His agent's phone will be lighting up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Going, he ain't going Liverpool. Cool. But Bayern Munich here, next summer, we want your guy. We will give you a massive sign-on bonus. We want your guy on a free transfer. Real Madrid, maybe. Barcelona. These big boy teams will be going for him. And then what that does, that opens up the pool of clubs that might get Mark Guehi.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I mean, he'll be gutted. It'll be absolutely gutted right now. There's no question, because he was about to bank some sort of massive signing on bonus, a huge pay rise and whatever. So, but all it's done is delayed it for Mark Guehi. It's not like it was some footballers, you get the feeling that it's a moment in time, right? And if you don't move now, it might never come again. I don't think that's the case for Guehi.
It won't be. Well, he will move in the next 12 months, right? We know he's not got. He would be crazy to sign a contract with Crystal Palace now. As a player, he will be crazy. And the thing is what he's done. I by the way, I think you're spot on with this. I think he's conducted himself really well. I think he has been the ultimate professional and not gone and done the whole Johan Wissa where he's gone, I'm not playing, or the Isak going, I'm not playing, I want my move. He's got 1 year left. If the deal is right, I will go if the deal is right. But if the deal's not right, I'm not going, I won't go anywhere. And I think that was the right way of dealing with it. So I don't think he's going to have that situation where he goes back to Crystal Palace and goes, what do I do? Because I think you're right. He'll come back and go, cool, we'll get on with it.
The power is completely in his court now. He can do whatever he likes, really. So, I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact he is going to be absolutely gutted. But
100%, of course you would be.
He wouldn't be moving to Liverpool, but
sure. Especially right now as well. So it says, I'm just reading it. So I'm just giving this is from Rob Dorset at Sky Sports News. Mark Guehi's move to Liverpool from Crystal Palace is off. Despite a deal sheet being submitted for the Eagles skipper, the Reds had until 9 p.m. to get the deal over the line. We'll get more details on why it's fallen through as we have them. So, hang on. More has come through. Sorry, it literally just buzzed and changed. Brighton defender Igor Julio, who was meant to be Mark Guehi's replacement at Selhurst Park, has had his medical earlier today before changing his mind to go to West Ham. Although the deal isn't done yet either, that may have scuppered the move in an extraordinary bun fight. That's a weird term. For clubs trying to get deals over the line. I mean, that's the worry, though, isn't it? That's the worry when you're and this is why you don't get business done in the last 2 hours of transfer deadline day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and to some extent, that's the position we put ourselves in at Tottenham, right? There are definitely criticisms. I'm positive about our window. There's definitely criticism that you can make of it, and ultimately, I don't agree with. I've seen some people say that it shows that we've got no sort of strategy. I think we've seen that we do, because I think we saw that with the targeting of Gibbs White, Savio. All right, they've not come off. But I think the biggest two criticisms of our window is, one, the whole Son thing doesn't seem to have been planned that well.
That's the one that I don't think's been planned well enough.
And then just from what we have seen, we'll never know for sure. But the optics of, we seem to get really waylaid, obsessed by the Gibbs White deal. Nothing else seemed to happen during that. Sort of similar, really, with Eze. We had Eze and Savio going on at the same time. How well were we lining up our other targets in case they didn't happen? I'm not so sure. So at the very end, it's looked a bit like Kolo Muani. You can't really convince me he was part of a strategy and a clear plan. That's just an opportunistic signing.
That's one of those where you go, crap, we've got an injury in another attacking position. Let's get someone in. And the fact that it is a straight line, I think loads of people go, why is it not an option? When you're at this last minute, you've just got to get a player over the line. Just create another little one, the one that feels like it's been going on for longer than it probably needed to. But Arsenal have announced Piero Hincapié He's joined on a season-long loan with an option to buy for £45 million. Arsenal have tweeted the final piece of the puzzle. Well, go and win the league then now. If that's the final piece in the puzzle, go and win the league. That's what I would say. Guys, we've got about 5 more minutes left. Get any last-minute questions in if you want. For me and Chris, I will be redirecting you to the Spurs 5, which I think it's the Spurs 4 plus a substitution, while Savva is sitting in Turkey during when he should be working.
They had Luke on, didn't they? They had Luke on a couple of weeks ago.
He's gone full Johan Lang during his transfer window moment. He's gone proper Johan Lang, going on a holiday when he should be working. Enjoying a holiday. Look, any questions in last minutes? I think I said we'll do the final ones. Did you see this, by the way? That Wrexham, by the way, signed Ben Sheaf for £6.5 million today.
Yeah, so but he wasn't getting in the team.
They're ruthless at the moment.
Yeah. It's a weird one because he was captain, wasn't he, at Coventry? But I know I've got a couple of mates who are Coventry fans, but yeah, he wasn't getting in the team. I think he played once this season.
Right. Okay. No, I just saw that and I went £6.5 million. Wow. They were in League 2 about 2 years ago. I mean, they were in non-league not too long ago, and
someone's just put in the chat there. Wrexham have agreed a club record deal for Nottingham Forest midfielder Lewis O'Brien. So.
I thought Lewis O'Brien had already joined them, though. I thought that was earlier on in the window. I could be wrong. And they were linked with Christian Eriksen. They were. They might go and get Dele Alli.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. 24th of July, it was announced O'Brien.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure they signed Lewis O'Brien ages ago. I'm sure.
Bloody hell, Piggy Smalls, get with it. Get with it.
Yeah,
you're a month behind.
Slow Sports News will start calling you. Guys, let's wrap it up there. Look, guys, thank you so much. I hope I did a good enough job as a stand-in. Make sure you guys on your way out, hit the like button, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that you're meant to do. What else does Savva tell you have to do? How many likes have we got? 347. Let's get that to 400 on the way out, guys. That'll be wicked. I'm sending you guys over to the Spurs 5. Again, do the same thing. Smash, subscribe, the like button, hit the buttons and all that crap. Put over saying, what should we be the redirect? Should we call it Perchy's the best raid? Let's do that one. With that over there, guys. Guys, thanks so much. I'm going to head off. Chris, thank you for jumping in and being my support network. You support me better than Brennan Johnson supports his fullback. Big up, guys. Enjoy your evening and peace and out.